Questions? Father Gary, somebody's asking if you could repeat the definition of faith once again.
Sure. Who's asking the question? I'm sorry. Oh. Faith is an assent of the intellect. Faith is an assent of the intellect to truths of revelation by a command of the will through grace.
Okay, well, Father Gary's getting set up. Is there anybody else who has a question for him? Okay, I'll come around with the microphone.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Sure.
I'm a trauma psychologist, and over the years, I've come to wonder if at times, especially when there's rape, there's penetration, there's not a transmission of dark entities into the victim. What are your thoughts about that?
Demons can be transmitted by sexual intercourse. They can. So I've had people sometimes who have been involved for long periods of time with multiple partners. They haven't been issues of rape. I've had people come to me where they have gone through the trauma of rape, which is horrendous. That's a doorway. Rape is a doorway. But people have been involved with multiple partners, and when we've had people who come like that, I says, can you tell me? I says, I always try to preface things with, everything you say, we're going to give a great deal of reverence to. Because I think that word is so important in the healing ministry. And also, oftentimes people they're coming in there most vulnerable, just as they are in reconciliation. When people come for a deliverance session or they come for a discernment, it's not confessional in terms of under the seal of confession, but we treat it with the highest form of confidentiality, short of confession. So if people know about the backgrounds of their multiple partners, then I will ask them, have any of these individuals, to your knowledge, have they been involved with the occult? Have they been involved with Satanism? Have they been involved with any of the New Age activities? Now, very often they don't. But there have been situations where clearly the demon was passed through the course. And occasionally the demon has actually divulged that information. So yes, in a trauma such as a rape, it's not at all implausible for the demonic condition to arise from that kind of trauma.
Thank you. One of my therapists, I have a clinic and I train and supervise people. I've been doing that for 30 years. One of my therapists was willing to welcome a man who said was possessed by Satan. Okay, she feels very connected to the light. She loves Christ and she felt comfortable. After several months, at one point, he brought her little cakes that he made. He was getting better. He stopped making all sorts of weird faces and stuff like that. He was starting to get on with his life. She didn't eat the cake in front of him, but she opened her heart to welcome him. But afterwards, she ate the cake. Following that, she had tremendous stomach ache, heartache. And I said, I think you're possessed right now. I think there's a possession, there's an entity. You have it. It wouldn't go away for days and days and days. And she felt a presence. She says, it's terrible, it's disgusting. I have psychological nausea. I said, you go in meditation, you call Christ, Archangel Michael, and you ask for cleansing. And she felt the entity, the dark entity, leave. What I'm wondering, my question is, what is the process by which the entity came into her? Is it by accepting the food or just by opening her heart to this guy?
I would suspect that it was more like the food. And I mean, this person might have come to her in good faith, but food can be cursed, and if food is cursed, And if there was a demon, and the demon maybe took her over for that period of time, it's not impossible that that food could have been cursed in some fashion, but more likely it was the food than her over. Because I minister to people all the time. But I never accept any food from people who I'm ministering to, ever. Not in the context of deliverance and exorcism.
We have a question over here.
Thank you for your talk.
Sure.
I just wanted to know, when you say New Age, what sort of falls under New Age practices? Is there a list?
Sure. I don't have an exhaustive list, but there are lots of people today go and they'll go to a fortune teller, or they'll go to a medium, or they'll participate in a seance, or they might get involved in Eastern meditation that really is sort of devoid of anything Christian, but that the people maybe who are the overseers of the meditation session or the meditation school, they might themselves be spiritualists. In other words, they might call on a ray of angels to do their bidding versus the angels, because we understand the angels there to be messengers of God. Or so they'll try and manipulate the angelic realm. People who get involved in tarot card readings, those that I would consider to be New Age practices. Crystals, using crystals as a way to conjure some kind of a spirit. Going to a witch, finding someone who's a witch, to put a spell on someone. Those are all New Age practices.
We have a question.
So this is kind of double-ended. On one hand, so when I was 13, I read Harry Potter. As a 13-year-old does, I latched onto it, I loved it, and I had a couple people on the outside of me express their concern that because, well, it's a children's book, which I feel is about good and evil, that it has witchcraft in it, and that could be a way that I could be possessed. And I'm just in a similar form, like horror books and horror movies, like good and evil horror, things like that. Do those open the door for that, or I'm just like
Sure.
curious?
That's okay. Benedict XVI commented pejoratively about the Harry Potter series. And he commented saying it was a means to draw young people in to the practice of magic and sorcery. Now, those books were all written by automatic writing. Automatic writing is a process involving the demonic, whereby the person is not writing, but someone else, some other entity is doing the writing. And the author of those books, in an internet interview, admitted that they were written by automatic writing. I always used to tell people, before I was exorcism, if you're going to read those, if your kids are going to read those books, you should read the books with them. Just so that your children do not get seduced into seeing what goes on in those books as something that they themselves should try. Now I tell people, I don't think your children should read the books, because of the fact of the automatic writing. Now, I'm not going to say because if a person reads the book that they're going to become possessed. In the same way with horror books and horror movies. I don't think the person who goes to see a horror movie is opening himself up. I do think people who make a preponderance of that kind of diet of horror, I do think they do open themselves up. But I don't think, like for example, the movie that came out about me in 2011, there are some horrific scenes in it, but the movie was really a movie about faith, not about horror. Now, I've had lots of people say, well, I can't go see that. So that's fine. If someone goes to a movie that is scary, I don't think per se going to a movie. But I think the person who's steady diet of this, I do think can open the door. And I would say the same thing about, if you read the Harry Potter books, I wouldn't I don't want you to walk out here and going, oh my God, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, when I first went to our school principal at St. Nicholas, when I was a pastor there in Los Altos, I said, I'm having people coming and talking to me and they have concerns. And the principal, who was a devout Catholic, and the head of the reading department said, you know, these books seem very harmless, they seem very good, blah, blah, blah. But when you read them, and you sort of get underneath the fact that these books are about fantasy, they also glorify magic and sorcery. And magic and sorcery are all about manipulation. So I would just say, as just simply as a caution, just be vigilant and discerning if you are going to read a book such as that may have some horrific theme to it, that doesn't become kind of the overall kind of library-like books and interests that you have. Is that helpful? Okay. Yes, please.
Hello, Father.
Me.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Father, we have a Langley Porter Institute, mental institution
Yes.
in San
I'm
Francisco,
familiar with the Langley Porters.
and other parts of San Francisco, Bay Area, mental institution. And this is an old question. MPD, how do you diagnose MPD?
How do I diagnose multiple personality disorder? It's called today, probably, it's called dissociative disorder. So sometimes we've had folks who've come and they've been traumatized by sexual abuse. Abuse victims oftentimes will experience, and those of you who are clinicians can speak to this far better than me, but there is a level of trauma whereby to cope with the trauma, another personality develops. We have a dissociative disorder therapist who works with us. I have a team, every diocese in the United States who has an exorcist, and most dioceses now do, we all have teams. So I don't do any of this ministry all by myself. And it's an intrinsically collaborative ministry, and it can be dangerous at times. So I don't do any of this ministry alone. So in the discernment, I have a medical doctor who happens to be the physician for the San Francisco Giants, but that's not why I picked him, and the 49ers. I have several clinicians and several psychiatrists, and some of them are also bilingual, because sometimes the first language that people come with is not necessarily English. But there have been times that we've had people who come and we're trying to discern, is the person that we have in front of us have a demonic condition, or is it a dissociative disorder? In other words, there's a host, the host here is Gary Thomas. But if there was something that triggered an altered personality, and all of a sudden my voice changed, and my body language changed, and maybe the sound of my voice changed, and all of those things I've experienced, you'd be wondering, well, what happened? I thought I saw Gary Thomas. Or their mood changes. And sometimes, if the alters are slight or they're not as pronounced, sometimes people will judge someone else as just being they're moody, when in fact there may be an altered personality. So we have to discern that out. And we discern that out with the help of with one person in particular who we use most of the time. Because if you mistake an altered personality for a demon, you can't cast out the altered personality. You can do a tremendous amount of psychological damage. So, this work is very, you have to be ultra careful, you have to know what you're doing, and you have to be ultra conservative as well in terms of the steps that you take. And the church also operates this way as well. So if we have someone who we think may have an altered personality, and that would come after we've been asking a lot of questions. So if they've shared with us that they were a satanic ritual abuse survivor, you're almost guaranteed that they're dissociative. Because in a satanic cult, the cult exists for control. And so everybody in the cult has been sexually abused to the point where they've experienced dissociation. And that's how the cult keeps itself together. And then usually, the leaders of the cult will assign demons to the altered personalities. And sometimes there's programming that happens. It's called mind control. And so, if it's a very sophisticated cult, and we have some of the comes, we have to be very, very, very careful. So that's how we, in short, deal with NPD. Yes.
Quick question, Father. I've struggled with this for quite some time, but I know of friends personally who have this gift where they grew up ever since they were a little child, able to know things and see things. And so, and it's kind of like a two-part question too, because on TV you see some of these people who can talk to the dead, and of course it says in the Bible you're not supposed to do that. And they swear that they were given this gift when they were young, and they seem to be very good people, and they're telling them good things, things that they need to forgive themselves for before the passing of their loved ones, and they're seeking that peace. And it seems like it's all good and fine, and you know, a good fruit is coming from it, but I'm just not quite sure how all that plays into the demonic arena, and especially with people who do attend church and are given this gift.
There are people who have spiritual giftings, who can read minds, who can predict the future, and who can see demons and other spirits. They can see death. I've had a few folks who come to me with those giftings. Not sure what to do with them, but they didn't know who else to talk to. I do have someone on my team who's a discerner who has those giftings. Now, the danger with having those giftings is not a good or a bad. They're giftings, and they come down through bloodlines. It's what you do with them. So what we've told people to do is give the gifts back to God every night in prayer. And then let God decide if He wants you to have the gifts back. Very often people, though, will use the giftings and they will use them for the dark side, which is where oftentimes you end up having people involved in witchery and sorcery and other kinds of practices. Satan can't create those gifts, but he likes to steal them and use them. So sometimes when people have gotten involved in the occult, the New Age, and they have those giftings, the giftings can be exacerbated in a very wrong way because the demonic will smell them out. And then they themselves will be under a lot of what we would say oppression, or certainly attack. And then they'll come and what we'll do is we'll work with them, we'll sever the ties of what they've done in terms of the practices that they shouldn't have been involved in, and we'll cleanse the gifts. So if people do have those gifts, and as you say, and I've met several people who've come to me and said, you know, I've communicated with this dead soul who can't get to heaven, who doesn't know how to get there. Now, I know that some people might say, that can't happen. It does. Because even in death, the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that immediately upon death, we go for face-to-face encounter with Jesus. We call that the particular judgment. And I talked to other exorcists and other theologians about this. What does immediate mean? Only because there are houses that sometimes there are souls of people who are tied there. Sometimes it's been because of a homicide or a suicide or some other trauma or some reason they just couldn't leave. So there is a realm outside of the physical realm that we don't, science ends and spirituality begins. Where people are communing, I said you have to stop. Because when you're starting to commune with the dead, even though you may not be doing anything that is overtly offensive to God, you're creating yourself as a medium. And you do not want to do that. So I said what you need to say if the soul comes to you is go to the light and have no other conversation. But it does happen.
Question.
What are some of the most common ways you see manifestation of demonic attack or oppression in people? And is formal exorcism always the way to rid people of that, or thank you, sure.
The last step an exorcist performs is a formal exorcism. So the vast majority of people whom I see and pray with in my team